Ever just stop and wonder about those really wild career paths people take? You know how
Hmm.
someone starts super focused in one thing only to end up thriving somewhere completely different.
Absolutely. It happens more than you'd think.
Well, today we're diving deep into exactly that kind of journey.
Yeah, we're looking at the story of AJ, someone who started with this um, deep background in biotechnology in China,
Okay.
and then really against what you might call conventional expectations, transitioned to become a hedge fund investment manager right here in the U.S.
Wow, biotech to hedge funds. That's quite a leap.
It really is. It's a path that definitely denies that sort of linear progression we often expect.
So our mission for you in this deep dive is really to unpack AJ's unique path. We want to pull out some key insights.
Right. Things about decision making, maybe the surprising role self-awareness plays.
And just how you navigate a professional life when it's, not just a straight line from A to B.
And all of this comes straight from AJ, from their own personal reflections on their experiences, which are our source material today.
Excellent. So let's get into it.
Right.
So let's start at the beginning. Imagine kicking off your journey under pressure so intense it's described as carving into your bones.
That's a powerful image.
Isn't it? That's where AJ's story really starts. High school in Henan, China, and the huge shadow of the Gaokao.
Ah, the Gaokao, China's national college entrance exam, notoriously intense.
Exactly. It pretty much dictates everything. AJ talks about the mental pressure being just immense. So much so that even years later, like when they were already in university, they'd have recurring nightmares.
Nightmares. About what?
About missing the exam or about like mass cheating happening during it. It really shows the level of stress, doesn't it? That it follows you for so long.
Wow. Yeah, that kind of pressure absolutely shapes your earliest choices. It's hard to even grasp.
And what's really interesting here is how that intense focus, just purely on the Gaokao score,
Right.
it creates this specific kind of blind spot for students afterwards.
A blind spot. How so?
Well, they become so laser focused on just scoring high, right? Accumulating points like metaphorical money from the exam.
Okay. Yeah.
But they haven't really been taught how to spend those points. There's often no real context or time to think about what different majors actually involve or what careers they lead to.
Ah, I see. It's all about getting the score, the input, but not about the output, not about what you do with it.
Exactly. It sounds like a really confusing situation to be in after such intense preparation.
Definitely.
So if most students were kind of stuck in this blind spot, how did AJ navigate it? Did they just guess a major or was there some method?
Well, AJ took a very pragmatic approach,
Mm-hmm.
almost analytical, which you'll see becomes a bit of a theme.
Okay.
So without a fully formed passion or a deep understanding of the options, AJ actually went online and searched for top 10 popular majors,
Seriously, just looked up a list.
and then statistically ranked them, basically picked from the top of that list.
Huh. What was on the list?
The initial preferences that came up were things like finance, software engineering, automotive engineering, biotechnology, and economics.
That method, just picking from a top 10 list.
Yeah.
It really highlights a common challenge, doesn't it?
He does.
I mean, how many of us, especially early on, make choices based on what seems popular or some statistic rather than really knowing ourselves?
Right. There can be a hidden cost to starting out that way, somewhat arbitrarily.
So which one did AJ end up choosing from that list?
Ultimately, AJ entered Sun Yat-sen University for biotechnology. It wasn't the absolute #1 choice on that ranked list, apparently, but it was still a very strong program at a good university.
Okay, so AJ dives into biotechnology at Sun Yat-sen, and it sounds like it was incredibly tough.
No, absolutely. AJ describes it as really broad, very foundational.
Mm-hmm.
You needed not just biology, but also a lot of math, physics, and chemistry.
Wow, that's a heavy workload.
Definitely. It really hammers home how interconnected those foundational sciences are. And this is a really crucial point, especially for anyone thinking about a science track like that.
What's that?
For many foundational sciences, like biotech, if you want to do something practical with it, you often really need doctoral studies, like a PhD.
Ah, okay.
So as an undergraduate, it quickly becomes clear that the path is geared much more towards research, towards academia.
Rather than jumping straight into a practical career after your bachelor's degree.
Exactly.
That feels like a classic trap people can fall into. You pour years into something, only to realize quite late that it's not actually leading where you thought it would.
It happens.
So what could someone do earlier on? Maybe taking a leaf out of AJ's later book to get clearer foresight and avoid that late realization.
Well, that definitely ties into self-awareness, which we'll touch on more later. But for AJ, sometimes it's not just internal shifts. Sometimes a big external event can totally change your direction.
Okay, like what?
For AJ, that catalyst was the global financial crisis of 2008.
Ah, the GFC.
Yeah. AJ mentioned that while economics or finance might feel pretty abstract when you're just learning it in a classroom,
Sure.
the crisis made it incredibly tangible, very impactful. Suddenly you're seeing factories close, unemployment rising, scary headlines everywhere.
It brings those concepts to life in a way a textbook just can't. Makes it real.
Precisely. It sparked this genuine interest beyond just theory.
So this newfound, very real interest in business, combined with the, 2 years already invested in biology,
Yeah, about that.
that led to a pretty strategic decision, right?
Extremely strategic. AJ decided to pursue a double major, adding accounting at the university's management school alongside the biotechnology degree.
That's clever, exploring the new interest without just throwing away all the work already done.
Exactly. A way to pivot without starting completely from scratch.
So after finishing up those dual degrees in China, AJ decided to pursue graduate studies in the U.S.
That's right. And again, this wasn't just a random choice. AJ framed it as sort of an extension of earlier preferences. Remember choosing Southern China for undergrad? AJ felt it had a, quote, freer social atmosphere and a more market-oriented economy. Going to the U.S. for grad school aligned with those same underlying preferences.
Ah, okay. So there's a consistency there in the kind of environment AJ seeks out.
Definitely. And the graduate plan itself was, well, intense and very strategic.
Okay, lay it out for us.
First, an accelerated one-year master's in accounting.
1 year, wow.
Immediately followed by a master's in financial engineering.
Back-to-back masters. That's ambitious.
Extremely. And it's important to understand the role of accounting here. It wasn't the long-term goal.
Right, you mentioned that.
It was seen primarily as a foundational entry point, a way to get into the business world, especially coming from a science background.
A stepping stone, basically.
Exactly. A calculated one.
Tell me more about that financial engineering degree, though. That sounds complex. What does that actually involve?
It is complex. It's a significant leap, especially from pure science or even accounting. You're essentially applying advanced math, statistics, computational methods to solve financial problems.
Yeah.
Think derivatives pricing, complex risk management, quantitative trading strategies, that sort of thing.
Ah, so it really bridges that gap between the rigorous science mindset and the complexities of finance.
Perfectly put. It could really leverage AJ's original science background, but apply it to the highly quantitative side of the financial industry.
And when it came to picking universities for these demanding programs, AJ had this interesting perspective, comparing it to analyzing your purchasing power.
Yes, I found that quite insightful.
What did that mean in practice?
It's about being realistic, understanding what level, what caliber of university is actually within reach, given your grades, your scores, your whole profile.
So less about just dreaming of the top name and more about
making the absolute best choice within the range of institutions that are genuinely accessible to you. A very clear-eyed, almost data-driven approach again, not just chasing prestige.
Makes sense. So fast forward to today, AJ is working as a hedge fund investment manager.
Correct. And this is actually their third role within the industry, so there's clear progression there.
And the current role is fully remote.
Yes, which apparently blurs the lines a bit between weekdays and weekends. AJ describes the work as both busy but free.
Busy but free. What does that actually look like day to day in that kind of role?
Well, the busy part is managing complex investment portfolios.
Yeah.
That means constant analysis markets, economic data, individual companies, often using sophisticated models, making high-stakes decisions. It's demanding.
Right. High pressure, I imagine.
Definitely. The free part comes more from the autonomy and the flexibility of remote work. It allows for a different kind of personal freedom, even though the work itself is intense.
It's interesting how AJ's journey, all this meticulous planning and strategic thinking, it seems to really connect with classic Capricorn personality traits.
Oh, you think so? How?
Well, rational, often seen as early maturing, valuing planning, execution, getting results, always seeking meaning in things.
I can see that. The focus on planning, execution, reflection, it does fit.
AJ even notes finding learning less tiresome than actual leisure time, which kind of explains that incredible drive we've seen throughout the story.
That's a fascinating point, and it leads nicely into this really powerful analogy AJ uses for moving forward, both cognitively and practically.
Oh, yeah. What's the analogy?
It's the car headlight.
A car headlight.
Yeah. AJ points out that the car's headlights only light up maybe 50 to 200 meters ahead, right?
Right. Not very far.
But by simply continuing to move forward, relying on just that limited view, that same headlight can guide a car for, say, 20,000 kilometers.
I get it. You don't need to see the entire journey at once.
Exactly. It emphasizes that cognition and practice complement each other. You learn, you act, you see a bit further, you act again. Plans evolve through modification or evolution, AJ says, not usually complete U-turns.
Just keep moving based on what you can see. That's a great way to put it. But, for some people, that idea of only seeing 200 meters ahead, that can be really scary, paralyzing even.
That's true. It requires a certain comfort with uncertainty.
What would AJ say to someone feeling stuck because they can't see the whole roadmap laid out?
I think AJ's perspective implies that the progress itself clarifies the path. It's not about having perfect foresight from day one. It's about taking informed steps, learning from each one, and crucially being willing to adjust. That modification or evolution is key. It's not about throwing everything out, but about constantly refining your direction based on new information, new experiences.
Okay. Learn, act, adjust, repeat.
Pretty much. And reflecting on this whole winding journey, AJ makes a pretty remarkable statement. They say there are no major regrets.
No major regrets after switching fields so dramatically.
And no obvious errors or mistakes in the critical choices made along the way.
Wow. How do they explain that?
AJ attributes it to having a robust personal system, a system of cognition, decision, execution, and reflection. Basically, thinking carefully, deciding deliberately, acting effectively, and then learning from it all.
A personal operating system for life choices?
Something like that.
Well,
While acknowledging, of course, that luck always plays a role, AJ really emphasizes the effectiveness of this personal system.
that's quite something to be able to look back and feel that way.
It really is. And from this whole system, AJ basically distills it down to two core truths. They call them axioms, like fundamental principles,
Yeah.
from which all other good decisions can kind of be derived.
What are they?
They're simple but profound.
Yeah.
First, understand yourself.
To understand yourself. Okay.
And second, cherish time.
Understand yourself and cherish time.
Those two. AJ believes they underpin pretty much all the strategic choices and the successful pivots we've been talking about.
So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive into AJ's journey from biotech to finance, we've really seen how this mix of practicality, strategic pivots,
And that unwavering commitment to personal growth.
how that can lead to these unexpected but really fulfilling careers.
That car headlight analogy really sticks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How just moving forward, even when you can only see a little bit ahead.
Will guide you across huge distances eventually.
Right, and those two core truths, understand yourself and cherish time, they really do feel like foundational beacons for making smart choices.
Absolutely. Which really raises a question for you, listening right now. If self-understanding and cherishing time are truly the core drivers AJ found for meaningful progress, what hidden interests maybe, or unexplored ways of using your time?
What things in your own life could light up your next 200 meters?
Exactly. What could guide you towards your own version of a path that feels both busy but free and deeply fulfilling? Something to think about.